All right, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to make this video. Link in the description, archived, of course. The legacy media is dying. Um, Cable ratings now are continuing to slump. You've got, the death of the morning show and things like that. Or the late night show, sorry, with the Colbert, which is hysterically stylized. It's Colbert. You've got all of these things going on. You've seen it repeatedly. You've got the loss of considerable numbers of staff within legacy media networks, and it's disproportionately affecting television. And I think that I know why. When you're watching TV, as some of you unfortunately still do, it'll rot your brain. It's called the boob tube for a reason. What are you actually doing? You're probably on your phone at the same time. Nobody's paying attention to these fools. They say, well, our ratings are down, but it's survivable. Yeah, but 10% of the people that are actually tuning into that show aren't using it as background noise. And that's probably a conservative estimate. Most people are putting it on in the background to fuck, to cover up the sound of their lovemaking, or they're putting it on simply as background noise while they're on their phone and stuff like that. Most of the revenue that they're getting at this point comes from ads on the internet. That's another problem. You've got the archive everything movement. I guarantee that that has drained millions of dollars from them, which pleases me greatly. Uh, I was at the forefront of that. I am very, very glad to have done so. I've noticed that some of these sites now attempt to bypass this by putting up, paywalls and shit like that. Doesn't work too well though, because all you need is one person who actually is subscribed in order to archive it, and everyone else can bootstrap the archive. So good luck, assholes. I'm looking at you, Wall Street Journal. I remember the time fondly when I was talked up in the same article as Alex Jones. Those were fun days. I'm still having fun days now, but it was fun then as well, as you know. The legacy media is dying, and they're boring. There's nothing that you can do that a content creator can't do with far fewer staff, if any at all. For instance, I have no staff. I rig up a microphone and a webcam. I make videos. And I appeal to a 5 to 6 figure audience when doing so, just on YouTube, let alone my new tech presence and all of my other presences online. I do this because I like it. I'm not forced to wear a monkey suit and go to a 9 to 5 or something like somebody who works in a newsroom. Must suck, by the way. It's must be terrifying, actually, having your job hazarded by a bunch of geeky YouTubers and stuff like that, Instagrammers and shit. Mm, coffee. It's what's for breakfast. But yeah, I was looking at this particular story and laughing my ass off because the legacy media indeed has begun to die. We've seen elements of it already, foreshocks, I would say. I think that the collapse literally is going to come in the next few years. And I think it will be an outright collapse. It'll be catastrophic to the legacy media. What's happened is that they're slowly ebbing away. At some tipping point, investors are going to say, shit, we can't maintain this anymore. And they're going to pull their investments out of the legacy media and they're going to put it into independent broadcasting. So individuals, randos on the internet and stuff like that, people like me, people like I'm not on the same level audience-wise, but Steven Crowder, reportering, people like that. They're going to say, look, there's all these unique people out there with all these unique opinions. Let's find a few that we can jive with, so to speak. We can vibe with the man. I love how that term is come back into focus. I love that very much. It's like, it's not 1965 anymore, but whatever. Uh, they're going to find them and they're going to try to invest in them because they're the ones that are actually getting the views. It's not the legacy media. Who reads the newspaper anymore? My parents, for example, they're boomers. They used to be obsessed with the newspaper, specifically for the cartoons and the sports page more than anything, respectively to my mom and dad. but they don't subscribe to any newspapers anymore or most of the magazines or anything like that. Why would you? They're too busy on their phones looking at Facebook videos. They're old, so just forgive them. Or Twitter or something like that. And that's what I do. I don't pay attention to the fucking television. The television is literally nothing more than a screen for your on-demand services when you're watching a goddamn movie or something like that. Things have changed over time, but the legacy media never changed its model. And that term dates to 1998, believe it or not. The first usage I could find of the term legacy media was 1998. There was an article about how newspaper firms, in that sense, specifically, were not waking up to the tech revolution, the rise of the internet, and their websites were either non-existent or they were retarded. And it was a problem, and they were notified of this in the late 90s, so this is quite some time ago. Now the term regards more the television-based media. So MSNBC, CNN, CBS, NBC, Fox. I love how Fox News tries to claim that everyone else is legacy media and that they're not. You're little bit less legacy media, but you're still legacy media. Then you've got the missing link media that rose up as they began to die. They're beginning to die off too, actually faster than the legacy media. The legacy media has a huge overhead, but it also has a lot of investors and empowered people that are associated with their networks. So they last a little bit longer. But if you're Vox or Salon or The Blaze or something like that, you've got some problems at the moment. Meanwhile, independent content creators are mopping it up. Hmm, we have to. People like info and they like entertainment. They especially like it when they're combined. And we're more talented than the people that are on TV. Let's just put it that way. More unique, much broader, a plethora of different kinds of people that can make content for literally millions and millions of viewers. Like I think I'm just about to cross 500 million views just on YouTube. I've already crossed 100 million just on Rumble. So, I mean, and I'm one person with a fucking webcam. How can the legacy media compete with people who have so little overhead? You got a good internet connection, a decent rig, a webcam, and a microphone. The investment amount that is required for us to do the kind of things that we do is simply far, far less than having a full-on goddamn studio. I mean, even some of the content creators that have like staff, like again, like Tim Pool or The Quartering, somebody like that, even the overhead there is less too and the income far greater as far as how much you're putting in to how much you're getting out. It's not even comparable to the amount of top-endedness that you get at a place like MSNBC. There's a reason that they're hemorrhaging staff, they're hemorrhaging talent, they're kicking people off of their shows that are even number one in their slots at this point. Stephen Colbert was number one in his particular time slot. They're still firing him. And it ain't just because of the TDS. The fact is that they're incapable of making money. By the way, they're going to lose even more. I don't even know what they're thinking because they're going to lose even more money by kicking him off because at the very least he has name recognition. It's almost inexplicable how quickly the legacy media is dying. And I love you clankers. I love you all. And I'm glad because many of you have contributed to this monumental effort. Remember, it is grain by grain that the ants carry off the whole silo of rice. That's about all. Peace out.